Hey guys, what's going on? It's Austin with TrackTune TV, and I'm gonna do our first little unboxing video for you today. This came in the mail just a couple weeks ago actually, and I haven't had time to get around to it, but Kale over at Cameo TDI sent this to me. I ran one of their tunes on the track-tuned battle wagon just for a little bit, and was very impressed. I wasn't in the financial area to be able to buy one of their tunes because I just bought a tune, but anyways, they sent me over this Polar FIS, which some of you Volkswagen guys might know what it is, but if you don't, a lot of the newer Volkswagens have an MFD display, which is a multi-function display. Kind of scroll through and see fuel economy and, you know, what you're listening to on the radio, etc., etc. But what this will do, this actually adds some added functionality, and it essentially pulls the OBD2 or CAN bus data, and you can stream up to 4 or 5 parameters at a time on that screen while you're driving. So right now I have a scan gauge that's monitoring boost and you know, EGTs and stuff like that. But now with this, I'll be able to see everything right there on the main display. So thanks, Kale. I can't wait to get this thing installed. This looks like the little jumper harness here, and probably a little cable to be able to sync it with your computer and update it. But Kale told me that since it's so new, it shouldn't need any updating. But yeah, I mean, very nice little harness here. This is still sealed up, but we'll go install this in the 2014 Jetta Sportwagen in just a little bit. So we'll see you guys in just a bit. Alright guys, so for this install, it's pretty straightforward. Gonna need a ratchet of some sort, an extension. Probably the extension that you're gonna use probably needs to be at least 4 or 5 inches long. We're also gonna need 2 zip ties. And then the important bits, it's gonna be a 10mm socket. I use a deep well. And also a Torx T20 bit. So we'll let it roll a little bit, but that's about it. Pretty simple install. Maybe give yourself about 20-30 minutes for it. All in with the setup and everything, checking to make sure, maybe 45 minutes. It's really a very simple install, so let's go do it. Alright guys, to start this Polar FIS install, we're going to disconnect the battery. Reason being, we are messing with some airbags and some of the CAN bus systems, so I just want to make sure we disconnect the battery and have all the systems depowered. About to install this Polar FIS. A nice little light down here. Car's a little dirty, sorry. But this is a 2014 Jetta Sportwagen TDI, and it actually comes with an airbag. Some of the newer cars have an airbag right here. So we're going to have to get that up out of the way to start this install. So I think there's a couple little screws here. I think they're probably 10mm, but we'll go ahead and get those up out of the way real quick. Alright, so there's the airbag module coming out. There were 4 10mm bolts. This is the connector here. You just slide the orange back. If you can see that, slide the orange back, and it should release the connector. So now we can get at this air duct under here and then be able to get to our CAN bus gateway. Now for the install, to get to some of the bolts for that air duct down there, I did some looking, and it looks like we can get to one right back in here. You can kind of see it in there. See that silver with the black? That'll hold one, and the other one is actually back behind here. So what you're going to do, you're going to pull this pocket open a little bit, drop that down, and then pull it out. And we can get to the other one, which is right there. So, and I'll show you again with a Torx bit, kind of where these are at. Now these are T20 bits. You can kind of see this one right back in here. We're gonna have to get that one out, so we'll do that one. And then we also have to do this one that's back in here. If you can kind of see right there, that one is what we want to get out to. Alright guys, so the camera's laying down on the floor right now, but I took the bolts out of this so we can remove that. And now what you're going to see is this connector right here, this red one. And that is our CAN bus gateway. So we're going to want to disconnect that. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. So now, before we go any further, what you're going to want to do, you want to take your cable and plug it in here to the back of your FIS. What's going to happen is that this is going to plug in where the factory connector went. Then your factory connector is just going to plug in to here. So essentially what we're doing is just routing this in line. So go ahead and connect that. We'll get everything else connected up. Alright guys, so I've got everything wired up right now. You can see this is the factory connector. Comes into the Polar FIS, and then that jumper harness that they provide plugs into the back of the Polar and goes right back up here to your factory connection. So you can see with the Polar FIS just kind of hanging here, we don't want to drive the car like that. There's actually this like reinforcement bar or something. I think it's just a protector for the brake pedal. But we're actually going to stuff this up back behind it and zip tie it to that so that it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to use 2 zip ties and we'll just have it kind of sitting on there. So now you can see that I've zip tied it there. There's 2 little zip ties. I'll trim those excess off. But now we can start getting everything buttoned back up. So we'll put the heat duct back in, bolt that airbag back in, connect it up, and then connect the battery, and then we can set everything up. Alright guys, so when you get everything buttoned back up, I went ahead and started my car, pulled it out of the garage. I was throwing an ESC code and a steering wheel code, most likely due to the fact that I disconnected the airbag, but when I drove it around the cul-de-sac, came back, that stuff went away, so I'm assuming that that's all that it was. But to get this set up, what you're going to do, you're going to want to scroll over on your MFD over to phone, and as you can already see, these are already populated here, which is great, so that we know that it's working. If you hold the OK button on your steering wheel on the right side, you can hit OK and then hit screen, and then you can go in here, do visualizations, and then parameters, and screen 1, which is bank 1, parameter 1 on screen 1, and then we can just scroll through here and see exactly what it is that we want. You know, I came from a Honda S2000, so I kind of like having a digital dash too for my speed. So parameter 1 that I'm always going to have probably on every screen is going to be miles per hour. So we hit OK, and then hit OK again. And then for parameter 2, you know, I really want to watch my EGTs. So we'll go down here and we'll find it wherever it might be. Atmospheric, fuel, math. Let's go look for those EGTs. But they should be in here. There we go. EGT. Alright, so that's parameter 2. And then we'll go to parameter 3 and say we wanted to go down parameter 3 and have, I don't know, maybe you want DPF temperature in or out. This will kind of help you for DPF regions and things like that. So we could choose one of those if we wanted. You can also look and see your DPF mileage too. So you can see how many miles before regions, things like that. Pretty much every single one of these parameters you can read, which is just absolutely amazing. So it adds tons and tons of functionality. So, and I think you have probably 4 pages of these that you can do too. So let's go back in here, screen, visualizations, parameters, and I'm pretty sure there's 4 screens in here, maybe more. Oh, 5's, okay, 5. I guess you could probably even go up more. So 6, 7, 8, 9, wow, 10. Oh, can we go up any more? 10. 10 looks like the max. So we can monitor 40 different parameters, which is just insane. So some other cool stuff we can do in here is if you scroll down to comfort, you can change the mirrors, which is nice. I've already done mine through VAGCOM, but you can also change your turn signals. You can change them to blink 3, 4, or 5 times. Most recently I changed mine to 5. I think I'm going to put it back at 3 because Maybe we'll go 4 because 3 was a little short, 4 was a little long. So we'll go back here. Just tons and tons of functionality in here. Let's see, so we have the stopwatch, diagnostics. So yeah, tons of stuff. So I just found this too. This is really cool. If we actually go down to stopwatch and acceleration, we can actually do a 0 to 60 or 5 to 10 or whatever you want. You just start the start speed. Here it'll be 60 or 0, and then the end speed you can set as whatever. So say we want to do 0 to 60, we can take this all the way up to 60. I'll just do 20 for now. But then, you know, if you want to go test it and mess around with it, you just hit start and you start driving and it'll time it. So that's kind of neat too. Which apparently right now, oh yeah, there it is at the bottom. So that's the time at the bottom. You know, right in here, this will be the readout for our 0 to 60 or 0 to 20 time right now. So lots of really neat stuff in here. So under diagnostics, it looks like we can do a couple things too in regards to your daytime running lights, warning lights on the dash, things like that. So there's tons and tons of things. One thing that I thought was really cool too is under stopwatch for us track guys. This is Track Tune TV after all. If you turn lap on, anytime you're crossing the start finish line, you can just hit start and it'll start, you know, kind of counting up lap times. And then if you hit start again, it'll reset. So I'm not sure if it records this anywhere, but it's still something pretty cool to have. So there's tons of really neat things. I'm just going to keep, oh look, there you go. So you can see your lap times there if you just remember to do that every single lap. So that's kind of cool actually. Yep, so 3, lap 4, lap 5. Awesome. And it looks like it keeps the fastest ones at the top too. So really cool for track guys. So that'll just about do it for our Polar FIS install on the 2014 Jetta Sportwagen. Once again, I want to thank Cale at Cameo TDI for sending everything over. Been really impressed with their customer service. In fact, when I was shopping for tunes, I had already bought one, but even knowing so, Cale sent an ECU over for me to try. Didn't ask for any money, didn't ask for anything. Just wanted me to try out the tune, let them know what I thought. So thumbs up to those guys. You can find more about them at KermaTDI.com. If you want to learn more about us, you can go to tracktune.com. We're all about by drivers, for drivers content. So we also do a bi-weekly podcast called Slip Angle every Tuesday and Friday. You can check that out on the iTunes store or through tracktune.com. And for more reviews and things like that, subscribe to our channel. We're a new channel, but we're trying to do a bunch of really interesting stuff. Got our hands in a lot of different things. So, and if you have any questions or anything about this video, go ahead and leave some reviews down below. So we'll see you guys next time.